Hi Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This is your February 2017 forecast. So this month we've got your ruling planet Mars in its own sign Aries and in your 6th house with Venus. So Mars in Aries is very direct, goal-driven, it's very busy and productive, particularly in the 6th house. So this month there could be a bit of strain being taken from overwork, but you'll definitely be advancing your career goals and ambitions. There's also a little bit of instability in the background. We've got 2 eclipses. We've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening in your 10th house of career, professional life, reputation. So that's where the spotlight's going to be on the 11th of February. And on this 26th of February, we've got a new moon solar eclipse happening in your 5th house of creativity, personal business projects, romance and pleasure, and also speculative risks. So let's look at what else is happening this month. Until the 19th of February, the sun is in your 4th house. And this placement for the sun is about grounding, getting rooted, getting connected. This is the house of home, family, property concerns. So for some, this can be about renovating the home or investing in property. It's also a time to nest. You know, when the sun is in the 4th house, memories about the past seem to predominate more, so there's a lot of introspection and reflection. What you're really trying to do is establish a solid home base, to cope with external demands. So this is about roots, heritage, security, building a strong foundation, and tending to domestic concerns. From the 19th of February, the sun is moving into your 5th house, and this signals the start of a very creative, playful, entertainment-focused period. The sun in the 5th is all about having a good time. It's favors self-expression, lots of conversations, socializing, doing things just for fun. It's also the house of romance and love affairs, so for some of you this could be love affairs or engagements might take prominence. And also one tends to visit more places of amusement, so taverns, bars, pubs, and recreational places like parks and scenic places, beautiful places. So this is also the house of hobbies, fun, children, so you may find yourself doing more fun activities with children, engaging with them in a playful manner, but also good for speculative risks for those of you who like to gamble. So Mercury will be in your 4th house until the 26th of February, and again, this is going to fire that tendency to ruminate on past affairs. When Mercury was in your 3rd house, it was a very busy period. And, Mercury was in Capricorn for quite some time. And because it was retrograde there, so it's bound to have been a very busy period for you. Mercury in the 3rd picked up the tempo quite a bit. So by the time Mercury gets into the 4th, it's time to absorb and reflect and ruminate on all the ideas that came your way. It's also a good placement for expressing your innermost feelings and emotions with family and friends. With the Sun and Mercury here, this is a very good placement for resolving family conflicts. You're feeling more detached, you can have those conversations. So resolving things with parents, family members, or nearest and dearest, very favored with these influences. So from the 26th, Mercury will be moving into your 5th house, where it's again about seeking mental stimulation, self-expression, putting your heart on your sleeve, expressing your feelings and thoughts, and also just looking for ways to stimulate the mind, whether it's through games, entertainment, fun reading, light activities, so what you're doing here is a little bit more creative, a little bit less diligent. So, what you do for fun or creatively can serve you later down the line. So very important for you is Mars and Aries, as I said, and this Mars is going to be with Venus in your 6th house, which is the house of work and health. So with this, Aries is all about leadership, growth. It's very goal-orientated. It needs to be productive and busy. It takes a direct line. It's courageous and adventurous. So for you, this is going to be happening around work and health issues. So you can expect to see a lot of productiveness, efficiency, focused, diligent work, so tending to duties and obligations, working very hard, getting things done. So with Mars also moving to square Pluto and conjunct Uranus this month, you want to watch at times impulsive, rash decisions, veering off course too radically. So, these can bring unsettling or surprising changes and power conflicts with Mars conjunct Pluto. So those are the times you want to be careful of, but I'll get into those just now. So with Venus in the 6th, this can tone down the ego energies of Mars very nicely and help you get along better with people that you work with, co-workers, employees, employers. So, Venus here stops you from clashing horns with everyone, makes you more amenable, makes you more gracious, makes you more of a team player. So very good for resolving or smoothing over any kind of work relationships or difficulties with Mars in such a strong placement. So let's look at what else is happening this month in terms of transits. We've got the new moon happening on the 28th of January in Aquarius and in your 4th house. So that really puts the focus on home affairs, property affairs. And, so for some of you, this could be around renovating the home. And those energies, active energies, run for the first 2 weeks until the full moon. So the focus is on home, family, and property, what makes you feel safe and secure. Because it's an angular house, it's strong, so it can stir up a lot of activity in terms of ruminating on the past, in terms of renovating the home, making things more comfortable. So it's really about a stable home base, and for some of you it could be around buying and selling or property matters, generally speaking. So on the 9th we've got the Sun sextiling Uranus between your 4th and your 6th house, and this is very good for new activities, discoveries, studying new disciplines. So for you this could be new disciplines that will enhance your work competence and efficacy. You're feeling restless and energetic and you want to shake up routine and do things a little bit differently. So on the 10th of February, we've got Mercury sextiling Venus from your 4th to your 6th house. And because, again, the 6th house of work, duties and responsibilities is being activated, this can be a nice aspect for creative work, for creative ideas. So you might feel like more of an ideas person, or your work could be a bit more creative than usual. And with Mercury in the 4th, this can also be a good time for pleasant discussions with family members. It tends to be more light-hearted, easygoing. So if you need to smooth over conflicts, then this is the aspect to do it with. So we've got the full moon lunar eclipse happening in your 10th house. So the 10th house is that it's a very visible, very public and very prominent house. It's the house of career, reputation, and for, recognition for your professional achievements. So with the full moon happening in your 10th house, the polarity is between the 10th and the 4th house. So the polarity is between work and home, your home base versus your public responsibilities. With the full moon happening here, things can come to a head in terms of professional duties. You may find that you're more in the limelight. For some of you, you may find, there may be some new job opportunities, or you may receive some assistance with regards to your career. And, for others, it could manifest more in terms of 4th house concerns, home and property affairs. So a very positive full moon with favorable aspects between the luminaries and Jupiter, Saturn and Uranus. So Jupiter here, this is going to favor like travel plans, study plans, things that you're developing, and so always good for travel, learning and study. Saturn here is stabilizing, and a stabilizing influence, so it's giving you stability in terms of resources, in terms of long-term investments. It's making you more practically minded. And Uranus could see with favorable aspects to Uranus, you could see some shifts or changes being incorporated in terms of job duties, responsibilities, but these ones could be kind of welcome, liberating changes. So on the 14th, we've got the Sun sextiling Saturn, and this is a stabilizing, practical, long-range view, planning kind of aspect. So here you're more focused on practical results. You could also find that you get very good advice from an older or respected person, and for you this could be around home or property matters. So this is good for long-range plans, for serious thinking, and for you it's around budgets, finances, and home and property concerns. On the 16th, we've got Mercury sextiling Mars between your 4th and your 6th houses. So this could see a lot of mental and physical busyness, and for you it's going to be around health and work. So here you want to take opportunities to take the initiative, to take charge, to showcase your expertise. So if you need to stand your ground on an issue, then this is a very good aspect for that. So this for you happening in the workplace or around family concerns or family interactions. So if you need to defend your point of view, you can stand firm without going too far. And you may find that some work opportunities come your way, so you'll want to take advantage of them. On the 20th, we've got Mercury sextiling Uranus between your 4th and your 6th house, and this is a useful aspect for tackling problems that you couldn't resolve. Again, for you happening between home, family, property concerns, and in the workplace. So if there's something that you needed a fresh perspective on, a different take on, this could help you approach it in a new way. And again, a good aspect for learning new skills, particularly technological skills, and upping your game a bit like that. On the 21st, we've got Mercury trining Jupiter, and a very favorable aspect with these two planets in a harmonious aspect. This is good for future plans, organizing your affairs. It's very good for any kind of business negotiations, transactions, buying and selling. So for you, this could be around property or the home. So perhaps buying or selling property for some of you. So this sharpens the mind, gives you a sense of the big picture. And so you're able to take everything into account and act accordingly. So on the 22nd, we've got that slightly dicey aspect between Mars and Pluto, between your 6th and your 3rd house. And this is the house of communications and work and so it can relate to co-workers and colleagues. And this one can see a bit of power struggles happening, ego conflicts, lots of ego energies, perhaps seething or simmering anger and resentment. So, you can find conflict with people that you work with. It can, on the other hand, be a very good aspect for getting a lot of work done, particularly with Mars in your house of work and labor. So, if you want to avoid those ego clashes, then just buckle down, get things done. You'll have a lot of energy to take advantage of. So on the 23rd, we've got Mercury sextiling Saturn between your 4th and your 2nd house. And this is very good, again, for critical thinking about serious matters and, for careful mental work, detailed work. And for you, this could really be around finances. So you could be drawing up budgets, taking stock of your investments, maybe doing taxes. Very good energy for that sort of thing. So resolving financial affairs and home affairs, and anything that requires serious, careful, detail-driven work. So we've got the new Moon Solar Eclipse happening in your 5th house. And the 5th house is that house of leisure, pleasure, fun. It's also personal business projects, speculative risks. And here we've got the Sun and the Moon conjuncting Neptune. So this is very good for favors love relationships. It also favors creative work, artistic work. So artistic passion projects, creative work really favored under this. Conjunct Scat, the fixed star. This can show help from friends, assistance from friends. And for some of you, this could be around new relationships or romances. So feeling very optimistic, very in tune with people like that. And, this could also be showing a sense of connectedness to friends and, thinking big, big picture thinking. So you just want to watch there maybe some sudden changes because Mars is conjuncting Uranus at this time and in semi-square to the luminaries. So there could be some changes of direction that you need to incorporate happening around work and health matters. So the month ends with Jupiter opposing Mars, and this is between your 6th and your 12th house, and Mars is still conjunct Uranus at this time. So Mars conjunct Uranus can show rash behavior, especially with Mars in Aries. We can be a little bit more accident prone. Things can happen unexpectedly, unpredictably. And of course, with Jupiter opposing Mars, there's the tendency to go overboard, to take things too far, to overcommit, to overextend yourself. And for you, this could be around work or health matters. So perhaps overwork leads to you feeling, pretty tired and flat, or you may find your health is suffering because of overwork and overextending yourself. So again, a high energy transit, but with Mars conjunct Uranus at the same time as Jupiter opposes, you just want to be careful for rash, impulsive behavior and, so doing things unpredictably and overextending and overexerting yourself, which could lead to physical exhaustion. Anyway, if you've liked this forecast, please like and subscribe, and thanks so much for listening.